The philosopher and founder of modern psychology, Freud, was the first to mention narcissism and explain its relationship with the psychological aspect. Freud says that we all have something of narcissism and self-love, which is obvious and necessary to love oneself and appreciate it rightly, and that he sees that narcissism in its beginnings is only a stage of the stages of growth, which should be self-satisfied, so that one then moves from loving and appreciating oneself to directing his being and emotions to loving and appreciating others as well. But if a person stops at the first stage of self-love and then closes on it, the problem lies and the narcissism of the person turns from normal to satisfying. 1. What is narcissism? Let's answer this question. What is narcissism? By gathering the opinions of many psychological analysts, we can say that narcissism is a psychological disorder in which the individual's sense of self and importance grows and may even be dominated by love and becomes a constant need and preoccupation to be the focus of everyone's attention, while losing a very large part of his feelings on the side of be nice to others and appreciate them, and even lose those emotions with others altogether. 2. Signs of narcissism. You will find him trying to convince you that your abilities are negligible and will make efforts to prove to you over time that you are a different person who enjoys creating anxiety and confusion and provoking psychological conflicts within the souls of others, and does not calm down until he loses their confidence in themselves through constant blame and constant bad criticism, while he is always a lot more amplifying the value of himself and enumerating its advantages and capabilities, and sees that it is distinctive and different to the degree that makes him can only deal with the privileged like him. At the beginning of your dealings with narcissistic personality, it is expected that your whole life will be penetrated and filled with attention to the degree to which you will see him as a charming figure given to you by heaven. Once he feels that he has gained your trust, you will notice a change in his treatment, and if you criticize him once, he will take your talk as coming from a crazy character no more. You will find him confidently replying about all your accusations of robbery and denying their existence, and notifying you that your fantasies about him are only the bad and that you need to review yourself. If you prove your position on him after he has detected his narcissistic disorder and begin to change by treating him and notifying him that you see an ordinary person like all other human beings with both flaws and advantages, he will immediately abandon you, which shows how bad the social relationships of the narcissistic personality are. You will notice that he has a great decrease in sympathy with others, his behavior and the way he speaks carries a lot of arrogance, and he thinks that he is the focus of everyone's attention and that there is a lot of envy for him, does not accept loss at all, and you will find him preferring to be isolated, sometimes difficult for him to work in a team because he will not always be able to cooperate, and he is exposed to disagreements and problems with others in his workplace, does not accept criticism or blame, and gets angry when exposed. Also exploits many people around him to achieve his personal goals. If you meet such a personality, be sure to stay away from it from the beginning, because the continuity of such relationships will affect you psychologically and severely, and you may find yourself turned into a critic and executioner for all the actions of everyone around you, so stay away and Wong the same as. 3. Causes of narcissism disorder. Here we use the opinion of the famous psychoanalyst Heinz Kohut, who contributed to the great developments in psychology, says that pathological narcissism from his analytical point of view is due to the coldness of emotional dealing with the child in the early stages of his youth period, as his desires of love and containment were not satisfied. Typical Lysine in his early age. Kohut believes that narcissism is the product of that bad event, and that a person with narcissism feels like he's making up for the worst of what she's had in his life. There are also possible causes of the disorder mentioned by some psychological analysts, such as excessive parent intervention in a person's life and excessive assessment of their actions, and on the other hand, the over-admiration of parents and the fact that their son is not commensurate with his reality makes him a narcissist. Constant criticism of the child and psychological harm through the multiplication of bad comments about some of his personal and physical qualities, and excessive encouragement of the child's good behavior and excessive reprimand for bad behavior creates in the child a state of disorder and imbalance. In the end, it is clear that there is a close relationship between the mistreatment of parents and the injury of their children to narcissism disorder because of their failure to establish a sympathetic and balanced relationship with them from the beginnings, which causes the child to lose confidence in himself and becomes not seen in his personality except defects and thus takes the feeling that he has no value and does not like him limit. 4. Symptoms expected to accompany narcissistic disorder. Narcissist often goes through varying stages of depression throughout his life, may also be tempted to smoke bad and sometimes engage in drugs and become addicted. Some of them get neurotic, avoid ingesting fatty foods, exercising excessively and reaching the harmful thinness that hurts them. 5. Treatment of narcissism disorder. The treatment of narcissism is based on psychotherapy and not medicine, and one of the most beneficial types of treatment for this disorder is cognitive behavioral therapy and sometimes family therapy and group therapy, with the need to know that the treatment of this disorder takes a long time because it is difficult to change the components established in the human personality has been in its custody for a long time. The psychoanalyst Coet says that severe narcissistic disorder cannot be treated and that the mild or mild condition is only concerned with the possibility of treatment.